Hi, how's everybody doing, wherever you're located? This is a little different for me. It's about 8 p.m., 8:18 actually, p.m. in Vietnam, and I normally do my videos earlier in the day, but I'm trying to work this time change thing here, and I need to get the video done. And this is something that's very important for men over 50. If you want better heart health, faster fat loss, and more energy without having to run or killing your knees, this is for you. I'm going to show you a simple walking routine from Japan that does all that. Um, I said yesterday, the last video, I should say, that my goal for the second half of the year is to really work on my cardio. And you know, I do some kind of what I call speed walking between poles, light poles and stuff like that. It's 400 yards maybe, somewhere around in there. Or from one tree I'll pick out, but I'm going to really get serious with it. And this method of interval training from Japan is really neat. And they did some studies on it, and it's really great for your cardiovascular system and fat loss. And they just call it, you know, the Japanese interval walking system. But it's one of the best ways to really build great cardio fitness after the age of 50. So, a brief overview of what it is: you'd walk at your normal pace for 5 minutes. And your normal pace when you're walking is you can carry on a conversation and don't have any problems with breathing or anything like that. So you're going slow to a moderate pace. And then for 3 minutes, you pick up the pace to where if you had a watch and could see your heart rate, you would want it up around between 60 and 70% of your maximum heart rate. And you would want, or if you're just using the talking method, which is what I do, you can carry on a conversation, but you can't have a long sentences and stuff. You might have to, you know, 3 or 4 words, catch your breath, 3 or 4 words and catch your breath. And after that 3 minutes, you go back to the 5 minutes. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with, I'm going to do this 2 days a week, maybe 3, and I'm going to do probably 4 sets of this. I shouldn't have any problem with doing 4 sets. So I'll do a whole lot more walking, of course, because of the way I walk. But so, you know, 4 sets is going to take about 32 minutes, and then after I do my last 3 minutes, another 5 minutes slow walk, it would make it like 37 minutes. So you can kind of see, and I suggest you to start with 2 sets. If you can do 3 sets, do that, maybe 4. It depends on how you are and how much time you got. So that's the basic breakdown. It's simple. I mean, it's a 5-3. 5-3 by however many sets you want to do. So mine will be a 5-3-4 the first time I do it. And 5 minutes of walking, normal. 3 minutes you pick up the pace. And by picking up the pace, that'll be different for everybody, like everything we do, because people are at different places. And some of you, it'll be really simple for you. Now you could also do this. You could do it. You really want to do it outside in nature if you can, but you can do it on a treadmill. You could do this on a rowing machine. You could do this on a bicycle, in the gym, a bicycle outside. You could do. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. You know, it's just like getting your normal cardio. There's so many different ways to do it. We just put in that little interval period, and I may get on a bike. I used to do a lot of interval training on the bike like 10 years ago. When I lost weight, I was doing a lot of stuff on the bike and walking. I was doing all kinds of stuff. But I used to do a lot of interval, and I used to do some intervals with the incline. But a 3-minute interval, I wasn't doing them that long. I'd do like a minute interval on a steep incline on a treadmill. But I just think this thing's a lot better to do outside. So this is great for me. If you've got some kind of heart issues and stuff, this is great for it. If you've got to get that fat off, it's great for it. So, you know, the basic structures, just like I said, the only reason it's the Japanese interval, because the Japanese actually did studies on it with people doing this 5 minutes normal pace, 3 minutes. And when people think of interval training, they're usually thinking of, you know, maybe a warm up, 5-6 minutes, and then you go 30 seconds to a minute really hard. Or, you know, HIIT training would be that high intensity, but it might be a minute, minute and a half. But, you know, 3 minutes is a little different. They actually did studies on it, so they named it, which they should do. And, you know, so, you know, if you have 30 minutes, do what you can do in 30 minutes. If you have 45 minutes, whatever, that's great. And, you know, my walking is, I did a lot of walking today. It's really weird for me to say that, but I was on the beach for a long time today, and it was packed. And I even watched a soccer tournament they got going on, the semifinals. I watched one of those games, stopped. But I was on the beach walking or watching for about 3 hours this afternoon. And like I say, this is research back, so it's really good for you. And it's good for your aerobic capacity. It's good for your blood. It's good for endurance, or I should say it's good for your blood pressure. And I have screwed up here. All right, so let me now talk a little bit about why it works so well for men. Low impact on the joints. This is for everybody. If your wife wanted to do this with you, hey, no problem. If a child wanted to do this with, not a child, but you may, like me, you got grown daughters, they could do it. I mean, this works for women just as good as it works for men, but we're talking about men over 50 on this channel, even though I'm starting to get more and more females, which is really weird. It's easy on your knees. Like I say, it's accessible for beginners, no equipment, no gym required. You can use gym if you want to. You control the pace. You self-scale, so you grow it when you want to. If you start off and do it 1 day a week, that's good. And maybe after you go to 2 days a week, or you start with 2 days and you go to 3. I wouldn't do this more than 4 days. I wouldn't even do it 4. I'm probably going to do just like 3 myself. I may try it 4 days to see, but I can't see doing it. You don't need to do this all the time. You just do your nice, long, slow walks. They burn fat also, and you just stick with those most of the time. Now, there are some good cardiovascular health benefits. It lowers the blood pressure and your resting heart rate over time. That's a good thing. It helps regulate your blood sugar and supports weight loss. Of course, that's fantastic. Boosts your circulation, reduces risk of stroke and heart disease. That circulation, you've heard me talk about this. If you watch all my videos, the last month and a half, that's become a big topic. Boosting your circulation, helping your circulation out. Because that sedentary lifestyle, sitting behind a desk, sitting on the couch all the time, it just kills your circulation. And the way you can think of this is think of it as strength training for your heart. Think about that. Strength training for your heart. That's pretty neat, which is actually what it is. Cardiovascular is nothing but building up your heart, working your heart. So why intervals instead of steady walking for cardio? Well, the brief high intensity bursts stimulate fat burning more than flat steady walks. Now, if you're walking and you've got hilly surfaces, you're stimulating a little bit more fat burning also. Now, fat burning is great for long, slow walks, like I tell you, but a lot of people don't have, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to walk like I do. If you don't have that time, if you're really in a crunch, 30 to 45 minutes is all you can do. Doing this a couple times a week can really give you a boost. Keeps your metabolism elevated after the walk. That's where it's like strength training. After you strength train, it burns, your body continues burning calories for longer than any other kind of event you do. Because your muscles are big and you stimulated your muscles, and it's going to burn calories for a long time. You go for that walk or a run or something. A run is really bad, actually. When you run a lot, and you're just jogging, I should say, when you're jogging and you stop, your body pretty much shuts down the fat burning pretty fast. So this interval training will help it keep burning fat a little longer. it's better at improving both your aerobic and your anaerobic fitness together. So we're combining two things into one. Of course, aerobic is just your walking and you know, doing stuff where you can talk in a normal voice. Anaerobic is where you get up till you can't really carry that conversation like you do when you walk. And then HIIT training, which is another level, you can't talk to anybody. You're just trying to breathe. It's more engaging and challenging mentally. It reduces the boredom. Boredom's a big thing with walking. I've been hearing some stuff about this, and there's some videos that go a lot into what you can do to kind of reduce the boredom. And that's what I do. I change up. I got different places I walk. I do different things. Like here, I've walked in the city. I've walked on the beach. I'm going to go up into the mountains over there next week. By the way, I'm moving again tomorrow. I think this will be my 5th place tomorrow. I would like to have just stayed here from the last 2 weeks, but you know, I didn't. It's the summertime for folks here. Even though it gets dark at 6:30, it's summertime and places are just full. But I got to go into a really neat hotel that has unbelievable rooftop pool with great ocean view, mountain view, and city view. You can get it all. And so I hate moving, pack, even though it's just a couple suitcases to pack up and move, but still, I hate doing that kind of stuff. And the Japanese studies show that this walking method, this Japanese interval walking method, led to better fitness and lower risk of lifestyle diseases than just steady pace walking. You know, and the majority of my walking is steady pace walking, but I do so much that I know that I lower my risk of lifestyle disease. But if you don't get to walk that much, hey, this can be the gold ticket. So how are you going to start? You walk for at least 5 minutes at your normal pace. For me, I'll probably walk 30 minutes before I do this. And then walk 3 minutes fast. You're not jogging. You're not jogging here. You're under a jog. You're just walking fast. When you first start, you might not feel like you're going very fast, but you'll improve. And this kind of stuff, you usually improve pretty quickly. And think that you know, you're slightly out of breath, but can still talk in short phrases, like I said earlier. That's what it's all about. And do 2, 3. If you can do 3 to 4 rounds the first week, that's great. Not days. That's the sets. Do it, you know, 3 to 4 times and twice a week, 3 times a week max. But we'll build up over the weeks, and I'll come back and do some more videos and touch on this. Eventually build up to 6 or 8 rounds of it. You know, and for that you're going to have an hour. So if you don't have an hour, you don't have an hour. But eventually I'll build up to 6 to 8 rounds, no doubt. And like I said, optional, you can track your heart rate. You know, you want to be 60 to 70% of your max. And generally, I think around 60 to 65%, you're going to be really good. 70, you may be out of breath. So, and tips are obviously always want good shoes. Stay hydrated. Man, it's summer. And I got a little dehydrated today, and I drank a bunch of water when I got back. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water in the morning when you wake up. I listened to an interview today while I was walking, and these guys were talking about how much water they drink before they drink their coffee in the morning. You know, they said, yeah, you got the old 1 glass, you know, that we tell everybody. But the guy said, you know, I have a 32 ounce before I drink my coffee. And we know, anybody in this industry knows that we're dehydrated from sleeping all night. It dehydrates you, and you need to get water in your body. It's going to make you feel better, get you going, get you moving, and then have your coffee after your water. If you put a little lime or lemon in your water, you get extra points. All right, so you know, this is good for all men over 50, but like I said, it would work for your wife or anybody, girlfriend. If you want to get them to go along with you, that might be great. We're working on getting better heart health. We're working on more energy. We're working on an easier weight loss because we're going to burn that fat, more fat with the interval part. And it's a non-joint destroying form of cardio, so that you don't have to worry about the the knees, stuff like that. So it's not just walking. Don't think of this as just walking if you're one of these hardcore people. This is training your heart to be stronger, faster, and more efficient. So every time you push through a 3-minute fast walk, you're literally extending your life. And that's not hype. That's how your cardiovascular system works. That's why in the book, if you haven't read the book that I always talk about, and that's crazy. The title just slipped my mind. Younger Next Year, Live Younger Next Year, and the Live Younger Next Year, the exercise book. And there's another one out that I haven't even talked about dealing with specifically back problems. But your cardiovascular system, they teach going really hard, 6 days a week to really, really get the great cardiovascular workout. Now, they really know everybody can't do it 6 days, but one of the guys started off really bad shape in his 50s, and he got to where he was cross-country skiing, doing all kind of stuff. But anyway, if you want to upgrade your walks, feel better, in your 50s and above, give it a try. Give it a try. Let me know if you're going to give it a try. Let me know in the comments. Get a video a like if you like the video. And also subscribe if you're new. I really need the likes and stuff because, I was talking the other day about how my views has gone down. I was wondering, somebody told me, well, it's just a fitness. Well, some people that I follow that help people grow their channels and stuff said, YouTube has changed their algorithm again. They were pushing new channels. I was getting 600, 1,000. I was getting 1,000 views on a lot of videos. I had a lot of videos between 600 and 900 views, but they have stopped pushing new channels, smaller channels. They stopped pushing it for some reason. They were pushing them out, hoping, wanting people to get a lot of followers and get monetized, because YouTube is in the business of making money. And the more people watch our videos, the more money they can make off of us. But they've stopped that. They slowed down, and that's why my views have dropped. It's not because of something I was doing or the fitness industry. YouTube did that to us. Oh well, you just got to live with it. They'll switch up again in 2 or 3 months. They just continually testing. So go out and start giving the Japanese interval style training a go. Let me know if you like it. Let me know results. That's a big thing. Let me know you're going to do it. And I'll talk to you guys later.